have the body of your MLA report created, we'll talk about how to add the works cited page. Let's review the information that we have there already before we do that. In our header, we have our last name and page number. Our report identification has the student's name, teacher's name, class, and date in military style. Remember, no punctuation, day, month, year. Our title is centered above the body. Notice that all lines are double spaced. And before I started typing, I changed my font to Times New Roman and 12 point. So all lines start to finish are double spaced. This week we learned about indents. This report has a long quotation on page 1. This is where we use that 1-inch left indent. So for the paragraph that starts with the 3 dots, you should have went to Format, Align and Indent, Indentation, Options, and change left to 1. That's for this paragraph. Now when you get to the paragraph after that, then you're going to have to turn that indent back to 0. Remember that each of our paragraphs have a tab at the beginning, unless that's a paragraph heading. It remains at the left. This report refers to the Occupational Outlook Handbook multiple times. It is the name of a book, so that's why it's italicized. So make sure to use italics every time that's shown on the instructions. So as I filled my first page, now my second page has number 2 because I used that page number button in my header. So the body goes to about the middle of page 2. So to create our works cited page, we need to insert what's called a page break. A page break forces your insertion point to move to the beginning of a new page. We don't want to just enter down because if we go back and add information, then if we enter down, it's going to push that stuff on page 3 down too. So by adding the hard break or the manual page break, we can force it and tell it where we want that third page to begin. So works cited page is always on a page by itself. So to add that page break, we're going to go to Insert, Break, and then Page Break. Notice that Control Enter is also your keyboard shortcut for that. So I can tell I'm on a third page because my header says page 3. So now I want to type in the information that is included on my works cited. A works cited is just the sources that you used to create the report. So in this case, they've been provided for us. So you need to type those sources exactly the way they look, underlining the titles as shown, spacing, and using the correct punctuation that is there. So our works cited page is the place where we use that hanging indent. So once you have all of the sources typed in, notice right now everything's at the left margin. But remember, a hanging indent forces the second line of a paragraph in a 1/2 inch. So that's what we want to do here. So I'm going to start by highlighting my list. I'm going to go to Format, Align and Indent, go down to that Indentation Options again. And this time under Special, I'm going to choose Hanging. And we want that hanging indent to be a 1/2 inch, so the 0.5 is the right option. And when I click Apply, the second line of each of my sources, or even third, are moved in a 1/2 inch while the first line remains at the left margin. That's our hanging indent. So when your report's complete, you should have 3 pages. Notice my works cited is also centered at the top. The body only goes on to part of page 2. Page 1 is filled, and remember, has that left indent. So after you add the works cited page to your report 3, you're going to turn it in to me on Classroom. Please email me with any questions that you might have.